Let's talk to Alina Trabattoni, though, Italian journalist down there where the boat capsized, because it's a terribly tragic story. On the front page of the Times today, it says, millionaires in yacht tragedy, hunt for Britain's Bill Gates, an Oxford-bound daughter off Sicily. Baby was held aloft by mother as she survived a deadly tornado. That was his wife, Angela Baccaris. Alina, very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Mike. Yes, it's a terrible, terrible tragedy. Fortunately, some people have been taken to safety, and I would say everyone locally is hoping and praying that that others may be found. Though as each hour passes, it's more and more difficult, obviously.
Yes, and descriptions of what happened on the night that the boat actually capsized. It sounds as though the seas were really, really bad, and there was a tornado as well, right?
There was a water tornado. There was lightning all over the place. It was a catastrophic situation that started brewing up at around 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, and the boat actually went down around 4:30, 5 o'clock. The weather forecasts weren't that bad, but what I can tell you is that it's actually very difficult to get the forecasts right because the weather changes and turns so quickly. I mean, I've been witness to many tornadoes out in the water, out in the sea in past days. So it is plausible that these sort of things happen quite often. But as the Civil Protection Unit said to me, it was a question of being in the wrong place at the wrong time because everyone was sleeping. The boat was anchored. They had enjoyed, a celebratory dinner as they had during the past week prior to arriving to Palermo. And then the boat was hit by a mini tornado after it was suffering through the bad weather. And then lightning struck and hit the tall 72-meter aluminium sail mast. Right. And that's basically what led to the vessel going down, and it's now 59 meters below sea level, which makes even the rescue efforts, if there are people trapped inside, very difficult.
Of course, and I mean the mast was so tall it was thought to be, I think, the tallest in the world, 72 meters, as you say, which I guess in those kind of conditions might have been a hindrance once it kind of collapsed and kind of turned over. Yes, absolutely. I mean, there are various versions. There's obviously an investigation into what actually occurred. There are witnesses. There weren't witnesses nearby, so that will be very helpful. But one of the versions that is circulating and has not been verified or confirmed by authorities is that it was hit by this water tornado and ripped apart by it. The second was that the tall 72-meter mast was snapped into two, and that caused the vessel to move and shake and ultimately overturn and go down. But again, there's an investigation into this, so anything we say is pure hypothesis. The investigation is being led by Italian magistrates in the nearby town of Termini Imerese, but the UK government has sent down 4 investigators from the Emergency Marine Accidents Unit, and the British ambassador is actually on site at the moment meeting with the survivors. Of course, there are these 6 people still missing, including British Tycoon Mike Lynch, 59 years old, and his 18-year-old daughter Hannah, who had just finished her A-levels and was about to start university. And there is also, and this is being confirmed to me by the Civil Protection Services, there is also missing the chairman of Morgan Stanley International, Luma, and his wife. And also Morvillo, who is the US-based attorney that was representing and defending Mike Lynch in the Hewlett-Packard fraud case, and a family member as well. So the circumstances are quite dramatic. There are a lot of conspiracy theories going around, obviously, but what I can tell you is the weather is such here that it's not surprising that such a tragedy could have struck a vessel.
No, indeed. And I'm looking at some of the reports. It says that conditions in the sea shortly before the incident, even in a few days before, had been horrendous. And because it was such a big ship, a big yacht, it couldn't actually moor in some of the local harbours because it just was too big for them.
Yes, well, it's actually, it is a huge vessel, and so it was anchored out half a mile out to sea. I mean, it's one of those situations where you're forced to do that, and there is a bit of confusion at the moment as to who was the captain of the ship, because initial reports indicated that the French national, a 22-year-old French national, Matthew Griffith, was the captain of the ship, but in actual fact, it may be that an older captain was in charge, because 22 years of age is quite young, and it denotes that the person doesn't have that many years of experience under his belt. So this will all be in the hands of investigators at the moment, obviously.
Yes, absolutely right. Alina, thanks very much indeed. Alina Trabattoni there reporting in to us from Italy. We've got a statement from Carsten Borner, who's the captain. Let's have a look.
We saw a red flare. Yeah. So my first mate and I went to the position, and we found this life raft. Yeah. Drifting. But anything inside? With 15 people inside. Ah, 15 people. 15 people inside. 4 people injured. 3 heavy injured. Yeah. And we brought them to our ship. And then we communicated with the Coast Guard, and after some time the Coast Guard came, and later they picked injured people, and when 1-2 hours later they picked up the other people. They went flat on the water, yeah, and then down. With a light we saw that the ship was aside, and then we saw a triangle, so I think she went back down. Terrible moments. Yes, and in the life raft was also a little baby, and the wife of the owner and her child are still inside, I guess. So it was a big disaster. Yeah.
That's Carsten Borner, the captain of the rescue ship, who saw the flare and went out there to try and rescue as many people as he could. Absolutely awful story, terrible way to end what would have been presumably a family holiday, something that they would have enjoyed up until the moment that the seas just turned on them. Absolutely dreadful.